All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another video. All boxing, everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all, let's talk Jaron Boots Ennis versus Karen Chukhadzhian. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and give my post-fight thoughts on this one. I did have to go back and check out the fight again, just check out some key points in it, just to really analyze the performance of Boots Ennis, because I know a lot of people have been talking, and I myself, when I saw the performance the first time around, I said, okay, I want to see a little bit more from Boots. But then when I looked at what Karen Chukhadzhian was doing, I said, this guy didn't really come to engage. He was more so focused on the footwork. I can't really take anything away from Boots in this one, because he did what he was supposed to do. He won every single round, and he stayed in the fight. He stayed consistent, and he never really showed too much frustration. I say too much frustration because there was a few moments in there where I could tell he wanted to get this guy out of there. He just couldn't. So yeah, Jaron Boots Ennis, he goes in there and shuts this guy out. Goes 12 rounds for the first time. Yeah, so clearly he did shut the guy out, yes. But was it a dominant victory? No, not at all. Not at all. He didn't really straight up dominate this guy, because he could still get in and out and move around and make Boots chase him. That was the one thing I think I could say Boots was lacking in this fight, was ring generalship. He couldn't fully get this guy to go in the direction he wanted. He could still move around and throw a few shots, pity-pat shots anytime he wanted. But Boots was still in control. He was still in control, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think a lot of people are giving Boots too much heat on this one. I have to give him credit, though. I have to give him credit for going 12, staying cool, calm, and collected for a guy that's used to getting guys out of there. When you look in the past, like guys like Jeff Lacey, sometimes, they were so used to knocking people out that when a guy was ready to go 12, or they had a decent chin or decent footwork, you would see them kind of gas themselves out, or they would really get frustrated and start kind of pushing the guy, or really getting mad like they couldn't land big shots, because they couldn't land big shots anymore, right? But Boots in this fight, I think, he stuck to his jab. He switched stances a few times to try to get in at a good angle to land his right hook. And, he was even focusing on the body. I think he kind of focused a little too later on in the fight. I think he probably could have got him out of there if he started early, but later on you could see the results when, like, he got down to like 8 and 9. He started to wear Chukhadzhian down to the body. Those shots started to hurt. But I think early on it was just a different look. Karen was doing a lot of movement, just trying to get out of the way, trying to give Boots a different look and stay out of harm's way. He wanted to stay away from the ropes, because Boots was going to home in and beat him to the body there and land power shots. And then also in the center, he would kind of turn quick angles and move, because he didn't want to stay in the pocket. He didn't want to stay in the pocket with the bigger, longer guy, right? So Karen's main thing was to move, just move and step in and out whenever he felt comfortable or confident in himself, right? So it may sound like Boots was getting frustrated, or this dude was doing a lot of different things. Not really. He was just showing Boots a single different look to me, and that was the footwork. That was the footwork. And that's just going to tell us that Boots needs to work on this next time, on how to cut off the ring, how to center in on a guy and own him in the ring. How you have to walk him in different directions. When you stick to a particular stance, you can walk him in different directions, where you can home in on your right hook or your straight left hand, get him to walk into those shots, bait him a little bit more, right? So yeah, that was just a different look for Boots. And it was good he went 12, because now he can actually go back and analyze himself round after round. Some fights are so quick that there's nothing you can really go back on and say, okay, this is what I need to work on. Everything was always perfection. You got a guy out of there, right? But now that you've gone 12, you can go back and look and see your attitude change from round 1 to round 12. See how your confidence changes from round 1 to round 12. Like, okay, where did I go wrong here? Where did I let the opportunity to slip to really break this guy down, right? Because even if you look at, like, I think it was like round 6 or 7, Boots, he let off some wild shots a couple of times, because he was like trying to get him out of there, but then he went right back to pumping his jab out. Every time he stick that jab out, he would crack Karen Chukhadzhian right in the face, because Karen was moving his feet, but his head was right on the line. So Boots was still the faster guy, and he still had the better timing. Every time Karen would slow down, boom, he could catch him with the jab. Then he could close in and start working his body. But then, boom, he's gone again, right? So, yeah, Chukhadzhian was just showing him a different look. But overall, Boots was still landing the more significant punches, the more powerful punches, and he was still clearly the aggressor here. the aggressor and the effective puncher in this fight. Chukhadzhian, again, I know a lot of people are going to overrate him now, but yeah, I give him credit. I do give Chukhadzhian credit for showing that level of footwork, but he was lacking too. He was lacking, because he had his moments with his left hook. Like, there was a time when Karen's left hook was landing on Boots, but he didn't really believe in it, and he didn't stick to it. It was a couple times he would land it, then a couple of times he would let off some flurries, on Boots, and then he would stop, right? So he had one thing going for him, but to me, the rest, he just didn't really fully capitalize himself, right? So yeah, Boots, he was the guy that just stayed focused and said, okay, if I can't get him out of here, I'm going to just keep boxing. I'm going to keep staying ahead and just outwork him. And that's what he did, right? So yeah, my final thoughts. So I think that, yeah, Boots, he did what he was supposed to do. He won every single round. He has something to look at now to, just go back and see what he does right, what he does wrong. Is he ready for Spencer Crawford? I don't think so. I don't think so, because I will say this, though, after watching this fight, I think a guy like Keith Thurman would still give him problems. I do. I think a guy like Keith Thurman would give him problems, because Keith is a guy that moves like this as well. He has footwork, but Keith is going to let his hands go. Keith is going to let his left hook go, and he's going to let his shots go. When Keith finds out he can land on you in a certain way, he will come after you, and he will commit to that shot. If you give him space to think, Keith Thurman will be a good 100%. Keith Thurman is a good balance of offense and defense. A guy that will slug, or a guy that will go in the back foot and box. So that's that level that Jaron Boots Ennis needs. And that's what I'm telling people. Like, when we see what Boots can do against these lower level guys like Sergey Lipinets, who was moving up, and this guy Chukhadzhian, go 12 rounds without really getting hurt. Okay, that's fine. But there needs to be that mid tier. We need to see what he looks like against a guy like Keith Thurman, or even your Dennis Ugas. Right, we need to see that level to give him that next step that he needs against like a former champion, right? To see how he deals with pressure against former champions before they can go in there against pound for pound best like Spencer Crawford, right? So yeah, off of this fight, I definitely say that there's things that need to be worked on, but he handled it well. Being the first time he's seen this type of style, I think he handled it well. There just needs to be that mid-tier in there where we can really see him bring that dominant factor. He has everything else, like the give and, the composure, but I just need to see that dominant factor against that second-tier level, and then, boom, we'll talk more, right? So I don't want to see the Spencer Crawford fight with Boots Ennis right now. I just need to see a little bit more activity, like a few more fights in between, and then we can really start to talk Spencer Crawford for him. But Spencer Crawford need each other right now. That's the fight that really needs to happen for them. But yeah, I think Boots, he did what he was supposed to do, shut the guy out. Guys, let me know what y'all thought. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.